If you've played hockey long enough, there's a good chance you've dealt with low back stiffness, tightness, or even pain. From long road trips, sitting on a bus, uncomfortable hotel beds, training sessions, practice, games, the demands of hockey, it can take a beating on your low back. But here's the good news. Your back isn't fragile. What it needs is a smart system that builds tolerance and capacity so that it can handle everything that the season throws at it. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact system that I use for all my hockey players, from minor hockey to junior to college to pro, that keeps their back strong, resilient, and bulletproof so that they're not dealing with any major issues throughout the entire season. They can perform their best shift in and shift out. We're going to cover a very basic stoplight system that you can use to figure out whether you are hurt, sore, or truly injured. Daily capacity or vitamins, whatever you want to call them, movement exercises that you can do to keep yourself strong and resilient, and how to build a bulletproof foundation that keeps you strong and translates directly on the ice. One of the hardest things that I have to deal with as a hockey rehab expert is trying to have hockey players understand whether they are hurt and injured and whether they need to push through or not. I get it. We're all hockey players. We're tough. I played the game. I wasn't necessarily the toughest guy, but I played the game at the highest levels. And I know that even if there's a bump or bruise or honestly a completely broken bone, we're going to push through it. I like to use a very simple stoplight system to help my athletes decide whether they need to push through or pull back. A green light is pretty obvious. This means you either have little to no pain and everything's good. Go right through the intersection, no problems. Next is the yellow light. This is some sort of slight discomfort that you might feel, whether it's in the gym or after a game or after a practice or between shifts. It's not getting worse, but it isn't necessarily getting better. This is typically a proceed with caution kind of scenario where I would very much encourage my athletes to come see me so we can figure out what is going on, find that root cause, and we can make any improvements or changes to get you back to green light. But it's not something that's necessarily I'm gonna say like, you can't skate, you can't train, because I don't know what it is. There's a lot of different factors, and I need to ideally get my hands on them or do a virtual consult to be able to figure out what is going on, and then we can make informed decisions from there. Finally, you guessed it, red light. This is when there is pain, sharp shooting pain, numbness, or tingling, specifically anything that's going down the back. My athletes are having problems bending forward, extending back, rotating, something that's really limiting their play. When pain is at a red light or discomfort is at a red light level, this is the body saying, hey, something's wrong, stop, do not proceed, it's time to take a step back. This can mean anything from not practicing to not playing. This is something you want to get figured out early. That way you don't have to have it escalate into something worse down the road where you potentially miss a ton of time. The traffic light system is very effective in hockey because it gives you an easy, simple steps to be able to ask your athletes how they're doing. It also puts some reasonable metrics onto the colors so that they can describe their pain, their symptoms, their discomfort, and then be able to give you a color. And then as the clinician or specialist, you're able to decide what they need from there. It's also very effective because typically what we see, especially with low back pain, is it creeps on gradually. It rarely comes from some sort of direct impact or hit, although it does happen. But some player can go from a green to a yellow. They hang out in yellow for a little bit. Next thing you know, they're at a red. But you can kind of make those adjustments as they go throughout the season to make sure that they don't go from yellow to red and they go from yellow to green. Given the rigorous schedules and the travel that most of my athletes go through, this is also a great system, especially when they're sitting on buses. The one time that I actually kind of really hurt my back playing in college, I was from laying on a sleeper bus where the shocks gave out and my back was toast for about a month after that. And being able to hop off the bus or at a practice and ask your athletes like, hey, how you doing? Or are you at a red, yellow, green? And they say, you know what? I was at a green, but today I'm at a yellow. It's like, okay, come to my table. We can sort something out. Now that we've established an athlete tracking system, this is where the magic really happens, the daily hygiene or the daily vitamin work. Think of this like taping your stick. It's not glamorous, but it's something that you need to do daily in order to have the most amount of success. The daily vitamins is the simple movements that we're going to do every single day when we're in either green or yellow to make sure that our body is strong and resilient. We can continue to load and progress from there, and if we need to, regress accordingly. The first is some sort of bridge variation. Hockey players spend a tremendous amount of time in hip flexion. We're bent over, we're hunched over, we're pushing out from that position, both players and goalies. So we want to work the opposite side. We want to be able to extend those hips, get a stretch through the front or the anterior part of the body, and be able to strengthen that posterior chain, something you hear a lot from a lot of hockey trainers. First exercise we do is a very simple bridge where we're just keeping our feet flat, we're squeezing our butt, we're driving our hips up through the ceiling, and then we're squeezing from there, feeling that full contraction through our hamstrings, through our butt, and even a little bit into the low back. We want to get a full squeeze. With all our athletes starting out, I like to do 4 sets of 12 with a 3-second hold at the top. The next up is some sort of hip stabilization exercise. When we look at our glutes, we have 3 main muscles. Glute med and the glute min are smaller muscles. The glute max is the big, large one that we think of, that peach emoji kind of butt. But when we look at the glute med and min, it's oftentimes textbooks will say they're primarily abductors, so they bring the leg out to the side, but their main action is primarily to stabilize the hip in movement, so we need to make sure they're strong. The simplest exercises you can do is some sort of clamshell. So you'll see this at basically every sort of physio. Now, in my opinion, for our elite athletes who are in green or yellow, this is not enough load. And honestly, when an athlete isn't completely injured and debilitated, I don't even do this. I like to jump right into some sort of RDL or hinge, specifically a single leg RDL or hinge, because that's gonna really challenge those glutes to stabilize the pelvis. If you are dealing with back pain and you're somewhere between yellow and red, yeah, maybe a clamshell is perfect for you. But if you're in the green to the yellow to green area, then I'm gonna typically prescribe some sort of RDL, whether that's weighted, unweighted, supported, or unsupported, so, and then progress from them. Programming RDLs, I like to use a similar set and rep scheme, that 4x12, but the goal is to move smooth throughout your motion. That way you're not ripping through it, you're actually challenging those muscles to keep everything stable and in line. And finally, some sort of anti-rotation exercise is perfect. Now, the Palloff press is one of my go-tos, but I know not every athlete has access to cable or bands. So you can use something even as simple as a Russian twist. You can also use a classic plank with rotation. There's many different exercises, but the Palloff press to me is one of the go-tos that we can work on both static and dynamic rotation. So I highly recommend buying even a $5 Amazon band if you need one. That way you can work this movement and train it with many different aspects. Trust me, it's totally worth the investment. To start off, I typically prescribe isometrics, so holding yourself in position, not letting the band pull you back, and then we can progress into different rotation or different rotary variations. The truth is, your back isn't weak, and it's probably not even broken. The reality is you're probably just underprepared for the amount of volume and intensity that this sport demands. Hockey players are on the ice almost daily. We're in the gym constantly. And then if you add in sitting when you are on the road, if you're at school or if you're at work, combined with having short periods of time for warm-up, high intensity movements, it can take a toll, but we need to make sure that our body, and specifically for this video, our back is prepared to take those loads. These drills start simple, and that's for a reason. And I don't want you to think that you're soft for doing them. You're building that foundation, and then we can progress to more advanced and high impact exercises. So let's build that base, let's hammer home good form, then we start to add weight. That way you can skate throughout the entire weekend of games without feeling your back. The true secret isn't just knowing the exercises, it's actually just making it part of your daily routine. This might mean doing 5 to 10 minutes of activation or adding these into your normal pregame or pre-practice warm-up, and that is okay. That should be a stable part of your preparation before you get on the ice or hit the gym. These small deposits are going to compound over a season. so that your back isn't constantly barking at you every time you hop off the ice. And yeah, I'm talking to you because I know your back is definitely barking right now watching this video. So fix your posture. If you're serious about staying in the lineup this season, then this video is how you build up that bulletproof back so that you can get through the grind of the season. If you like this video, throw a comment, like, comment, subscribe. If you're dealing with low back pain, reach out to me at ghostrehab.com. We'll get you set up, whether that's an in-person or a virtual consult. Or if you're looking for a training plan that builds up that body armor, that low back, that core and hip stability, we have those available at ghostrehab.com. Just go to the training section tab or click the link below. Regardless whether you are a goalie, a forward, a D, or a hockey parent, we have programs for you, and we also make custom training programs tailored to your specific needs and equipment or whatever else you need. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, whatever video YouTube's recommending up here, I suggest you go watch it.